message today, I think, is very important. Today we are talking about radical trust. Ooh, just hearing that word gets me all, because the word radical on top of trust is pretty ferocious as far as making our dreams come true. Trust issues are big. Whether you have financial insecurities, whether you have romantic relationships you're working through, or whether you're in a job that you hate and you really don't know how to leave, wherever you are in your life, trust is usually at the bottom of that fear-based, and really what it is the lack of trust. All of my life coaching clients right now and all the work that I'm doing, trust has been full frontal blowing up all over the place. So in that experience, I'm going through it too, and I really wanted to share with you today in this week's message about radical trust and how we can get there. So first, I want to encourage you to look at your own life and look at an area that you feel like maybe you're not trusting enough. Perhaps there is an area of your life where you really want something to happen and you're working towards a goal, or you keep daydreaming about a situation that you want and it's just not happening. And so now, once you have that in your mind, I want you to consider thinking about what happens leading up to that moment. For example, if you feel like you really want to be in a romantic relationship, you could be very frustrated because you don't feel like you've met your soulmate. You keep going out with duds instead of studs, or you're just in this place where you're just like totally frustrated. And that could be because you're not trusting. And trust is so important, but it's easy to say go trust. So that's why this message is going to go a lot deeper. Today we're talking about radical trust, which means a complete surrender and a complete confidence in both yourself and your dreams. And so this has really come up for me this week because, for example, a lot of you know that I've been working and promoting and getting my message out of happiness. So thanks for all of your help in helping me share that message. But really what's happening is I noticed that I am in a holding pattern. Yesterday I had a moment where I realized, I didn't have any clients lined up for the day. I was in a place where I met all my deadlines for my freelance work, and my literary agent is pitching my book to publishers, but the way it goes in the publishing world is you have a literary agent and she pitches it to publishers, or he pitches it to publishers, and so there's this waiting period before you hear back. So I don't actually have a book deal yet. I'm working on it, coming true for me, but it's not manifested, it's not in front of me. It's all happening behind the scenes. And so I sat there yesterday and I realized that, oh my gosh, I started to get really frustrated because I felt like there was something I should be doing to make my dreams happen. There's something I should be doing to go out and do stuff to, get what I thought I wanted. But what I recognized is in that moment, that frustration that was coming up was really my lack of trust. So in the moments that you're feeling fearful, or you're feeling anxiety, or you're feeling stressed out, look at if your lack of trust is keeping you from moving forward. So for me, I immediately nabbed it in the butt. I said, I have the tools that can really just bust through this. And I stopped and I said, okay, so here's what's going on. I am sitting here and I feel frustrated. So I felt my feelings. And so if you're feeling that you're frustrated, first go to a place of what are your feelings trying to tell you? And then recognize that a lot of times we are not trusting the universe to have our back or hold us accountable for what we really want. And if we don't trust that the universe is going to be there for us, or we don't trust that things are going to happen, then there's no way we can move forward. And so that becomes, in my moment yesterday, I got to a place where I said, you know what? I know that everything is in right order. And so for you, look at your dreams and look at that thing that you want, but there's a resistance and perhaps you're staying on the other side of it, and repeat the mantra, everything is in right order. That's it. That's what you keep saying to yourself in those moments where you feel disengaged, when you feel out of alignment. And when you really get back to your core sense, you get back to that trusting place. Because here's the truth. Our heart of hearts and who we are at our core, we are built upon the foundation of love and trust. And so that means that we trust and know that things will always work out in our favor. But the human part of us tries to do, we try to go get, we try to control and manipulate our situation. And that's where the stress, that's where the fear, and that's where the resistance comes in. And so to get to that place of trust, we have to first look at our feelings, and then we have to repeat and realign ourselves with love. And so it's simple as saying a mantra or creating a power phrase for yourself, but then you want to get to a place where you really understand and recognize why you're doing what you're doing. And that means realigning with the mission or the why. So for example, I have a really big goal to get a book deal. And I realized that, you know, there's nothing I can do. It's out in the universe. I've already put my goal out. And so here's what you want to do. You want to take that desire that you want, that desire that is so important to you, and you want to literally like picture a bow on it and just like hand it over to your future self, hand it over to your guides or your support system and say, take this. I trust that you have this. But then you want to realign with why you're doing it, not with what is. Because after you hand it over, whether it's a soulmate, a dream job, a financial abundance, after you hand it over, the rest is done. Everything, let the universe take care of it. And the lack of trust is because we don't see what's happening behind the scenes. So I'm in this place. I've written a lot of articles over the past week, and they're like sitting in the queues to get published. And so it's like, I feel like I'm in the waiting period of almost like an airport. And so look at it in your life. If you feel frustrated because things aren't moving as fast as you want them to be, or you have a goal and it's not coming true, look at it as you've done the work, you've taken the steps to get there, and now you're going to visualize that outcome instead of going to what's currently happening. So if you're in a situation where you don't like where you are, keep aligning with where you want to be in your mind. So I keep holding that space of I have a book deal. I keep having that picture of all the articles that I've written are out in the world and sharing the happiness. And I don't have to do anything. I just have to think about it in my mind and really hold that intention. Because when we go in our mind to a place of discomfort and dis-ease, that's when the stress comes up, and that's when the lack of trust really shows itself. So to realign with your trusting self, the loving self that you know is inside of you, we want to do, and really the third step is to make a daily appointment or an hourly appointment with your inner self and with your future self. And so I did this. In those moments of feeling really frustrated yesterday, I felt my feelings, and then I immediately went to a loving place of saying, you know what, everything's in right order. And I took my dog for a nature hike. I went out and I played, and I had a blast just being in the moment, because I said, you know what, I don't have to do anything. I know that my dreams and desires are coming to me. I trust and I fully know that it's going to happen in divine timing. And so it really is about timing, and that's where your future self comes into play. You know, when I ask people, what guidance, what suggestion does your future self have for you? Every person, almost everyone says, it's okay, everything's going to work out, stop worrying so much, or something along those lines. And so when you think about what your future self is going to tell you, your future self has this message of saying, hey, it's okay. Relax. That future self who's in that relationship with that beautiful person that you've wanted, that future self who's so financially free that you are rolling in money, the future self who's so connected to their new life because they've left the job that's been holding them back, like whatever that future version, that thing that's causing the lack of trust, you turn it around and you get back to the core essence. And making a daily appointment, or in this moment when you're feeling very anxious, of an hourly appointment with your future self, you're able to realign. You're able to reestablish that core essence that's going to pull you through, which in itself, your future self is saying, guess what? Everything is in right order. You are right where you need to be. Right where you need to be right now. There's nothing to do except for just be. And so you can have fun with this process of really radical trust. And trust in itself shouldn't be something that really stresses you out. It should be a fun process of allowing yourself to be who you really are. That's really what we're doing, and that's really what, Play with the World's all about. It's about connecting with your true essence. So I'd love to hear your message, and leave your comments below, or of course share this message with friends. If you know anyone who has frustrating moments of lack of trust, perhaps they could use this message. I want to thank all of you for stepping into your heart's true desire and for playing with the world. Remember, you're right where you need to be, and everything is in divine order.